Hi everyone, welcome to RPA Explorers channel.
This video we are going to see an interesting topic, which is how to handle your error or exception handling in RPA bot. So in RPA, error handling is must for managing your exception that the automated bot which runs smoothly. And in real time, it operates without a human intervention. So in those scenarios, handling your error is much needed to handle any kind of unexpected behaviors or issue in your automated process. So in today's video, we are going to concentrate on various methods to handle your exceptions. Before we see various methods to handle it, let's quickly take a look at the blog which is shared by Daniel from ServiceNow, and also I'll be giving the link in the description. And the topic is RPA error handling in your robotic automation. So, and he have explained it from the basic method to handle your exceptions along with the demo, and also the advanced method and few other components which you could use to handle it. And firstly, let's understand various methods to handle it. Like, you have two different levels of handling your exception. First is at your component level. So you have plenty of components on your toolbox. So each component have this option, like you have to right click on the component and just going into this error handler, you get few options with the help of which you can handle it on this component level. This is the first one, and the second is on handling an exception at activity level. And here I have different activities, like this email is an activity, get email is another activity, error handling is my another activity, and including this main, which is also another activity inside this YT demo project. So if you decide to handle your exception on your activity level, you could just go to your activity, right clicking on it, and you can use this option called error handler. Again, you will be able to do all the options you want to handle it here. And the difference between component level and the activity level is that error handling at the activity level, which is applicable to all the components within that specific activity. Let's understand the differences between them, activity level and component level. So I'll also give this document link in the description. So this is like how you can handle your errors in RPA Studio. And this is basically to understand this method, which is called error handler, where we have four options: inherit, stop, continue and retry. I say that you can handle your exception at component level and activity level. So if you're going to the component level, you have to right click on the title bar and handle it based on your option. And now let's understand this activity level in action. And they say that by default error handling at this activity level, which is applies to all the component within that specific activity. So let's assume this is my activity, which is called get methods, and I'm going to have my error handler stop. It means that whenever there is an error in any of the component inside this get method, I want to stop my entire activity execution. It doesn't mean that it will stop the complete process, it just stop this particular activity execution. So whatever I apply over here is applicable to all the component except few components which explicitly have some error handling. Basically it's applicable to all the component except the one which has error handler individually for that specific component. So this is the main difference between them if you want to handle it very easily on each component. And the first method is inherit. It simply means that it will not do anything, it just inherit whatever error the component has been thrown. In case you have any action for an error handler, that will be taken care. And then you have stop. So if I have any issues in this action set, you could use this stop. And then you have continue. So if you want to continue on specific error, you just go with this. And you have retry. So if you want to retry the launching of application for particular amount of time, you could increase it. So here in this case, it will just try to launch the application 3 times, and after trying 3 times, what will be your action after an error? Stop it, or if you want to continue it after 3 retries. So it depends, and this will be executed only when there is an error, even after the given amount of retries. And also you have a delay. So in case I give 2 seconds of delay, so I just try once and it take 2 seconds of delay, and then it go for the second retry method. So this is how this particular 4 methods will work. So for better understanding, make sure that you try all the options on your own. And they have explained everything in this documentation as well, that what is the maximum retry and what is the delay, like whatever options you have to do it over here. This is about how you can handle it on different levels, like the component and activities level. So now let's go to the main thing, which is like how you can actually handle it with the help of a component. In the documentation which Daniel have explained, he has given 2 components, which is try catch and the terminate one. And in the try catch also he have explained an advanced mechanism where you can actually update your queue work item. So along with this, I'm also going to show you guys 2 more component, which is also very helpful in terms of handling your exceptions. So first let's start with the try catch, so which is the common notations in all the programming languages, right? So let's take this try catch from the toolbox. And this has 3 different ports: control output, basically where you will be connecting all your actions or components to do certain actions in it. And then on error and error message. So on error is something whenever there is an exception occurred, whichever connected to this component will be handled on this on error part. And this error message will capture the error from the component where the error is thrown. So it will give you the exact error message on top of that component. And now let's take a simple example to understand this. So I'm going to pick click from UI and connect it to the control output. And let's open the calculator. And now let's type in 12 and I want to capture this 12. You have to press Ctrl plus Shift for your selection. So I'm doing that. And now this is captured. So before we run this, I'm just going to add some delay before it click on it, so that I could minimize the studio and open the calculator. So going to the properties and let's have delay of 3 seconds. Let's run this now. So I'll minimize it and the calculator is opened in the background. Okay, let me quickly add 12. So now you would have seen that it is trying to click on it. Maybe I'll just rerun it. So it's basically waiting for 3 seconds and it clicked on 12. And this time it doesn't have any error. So let's also add some activities on error part, so that we could understand it better. And I'm taking the one from console. So maybe let's add this one, the error. And now let's do the same. So it clicked on 12. Since it doesn't have any error, this is not executed. So now I'm just going to remove the 12 and maybe let's have just one. And now we'll clear it, rerun it. And also default timeout for every component is 30 seconds. So it just wait for some time until it find the particular images, and after that the error will be thrown. And if you see, it couldn't get the exact image 12 and there is an error. So let's see what's the error. An error occurred during your executions that the image could not be found. Okay, so since there is an error, it come to the on error part. And now let's see what's the exact error over here. So you could see the exact error message which we have seen on top of component. So this is how basically this try catch work. And it's not just that you should have only one component or just one activity. You can have many n number of activities over here. So for example, let's add this read Excel, process, and update work item. So where error occurred on any of these component, it will be handled in the try catch part. So this is a basic method to use this try catch block, and there is also an advanced method which we'll see now. And also it's not just that you should use only activity or the component, you could also use the combination of them. For example, you could also have some variables assigned to it in case there is an issue in assigning that variable. Let me have some variables component. So it doesn't matter whatever you have here. Whenever there is an error, you just capture it. As I mentioned, this is just a simple method where we are just logging it. So in real time, if you want to send an email whenever there is an error, you could add those respective actions over here. That is one method. And if you are using queues in your project and you want to update your status as failure, whether it's an application exception or business exception, you could also do the same with this update work item. So until and unless you have specific condition for your business exception, all those error which is captured by your try catch will be an application exception. So you could update your status accordingly. And also in programming languages and in other RPA tools, it is mandatory to have some actions in your catch block, which is basically this on error part. But in ServiceNow, it doesn't throw you any error even you don't have any actions or components connected to this on error part. But it is completely advisable to have some actions in it, which will be an exception free bot. So make sure that you have some actions, component or activity over here. Maybe if you want, I'll just quickly run it and show you. It will not throw any error even we don't have any block connected to this on error part, even there is an error. Okay, so I'll run this, minimize it. Okay, so here there is an error and it will not do anything, so in real time you will not be know what happened to the bot exactly, right? Okay, and yes, this is how this particular try catch component work. Actually this video took more than what I expected, so I'll consider this as part 1 video, and in the part 2 I'll be explaining rest of the methods like terminate, throw and graceful stop, which will be my part 2. So thanks a lot for watching this video till the end, and in case you guys like my content, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching this video.